Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you all can hear us. We are going to be starting in just about a minute. We apologize for the delay. It's just the end of the school day and we have a lot of little things that happen. But we'll be starting in just a minute. Thank you for those of you that have been able to join us this afternoon for a coffee with the admin team. All right. Well, thank you. We're going to go ahead and start to honor everyone's time. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon, April 19th at 3:30 p.m. for our monthly coffee with the admin team. Today, we have myself and we also have Ms. Gallion who are going to be presenting. Mr. Gordillo and or Mrs. Ramirez will be joining us shortly. They are preoccupied with a couple of situations at dismissal. Dr. Slayman is not available today as she is at a meeting at the district office. So again, today we are going to be reviewing a couple of items. One of them is going to be our continued quest to receive feedback from you, our educational partners, on our LCAP, our Local Control Accountability Plan that we are updating for the new school year 22-23. We are also going to talk about potential school schedule changes for the 22-23 school year. We will have an update on COVID and the mask update, and then we will also share with you an update on the lottery for our middle school that we have conducted. And those are our agenda items. At the end of the session, if there are any questions from our guests, we are on Zoom today, so we are able to take questions live. We will be able to then do that. Okay, so we're going to turn it over to our next slide, and I'm going to have Ms. Gallion share about the LCAP.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, parents. I'm sure that you have seen in our weekly emails and via our text messages that we are really trying to seek feedback from you all. This LCAP survey, LCAP standing for our Local Control Accountability Plan, this is what we use to guide all of our funding for the next school year. So in the past, we have used thought exchange, and we haven't gotten a lot of parent feedback or community feedback. So this year we decided to switch it up and we're just doing a regular online survey. So we're really requesting that our parents or our guardians take a few minutes. The survey shouldn't take more than about 5 minutes for you all to complete. It's all online. And what it does is it gives all of our families an opportunity to share what they feel is most important about Feaster Charter School. There are questions like prioritizing the goals that we currently have, such as our intervention teachers or our instructional coaches. If you've been attending any of our board meetings, at the most recent one, you saw a presentation from our Mind Labs teachers. All of those programs are funded because we put them as goals in our Local Control Accountability Plan. So we want to hear from you all, because this isn't just about us. We are here to serve your children and your students. So we want to figure out what you feel is most important so that we can either adjust the existing goals that we have or create new priorities based on the feedback that you share. So in a few moments before our coffee with the admin team ends, I will be adding the link. There's a link to complete the survey in both English, and then there's a different link to complete the survey in Spanish. So I will be adding those links in just a few moments. And parents, if you should have any questions, keep them in mind. We'll have some time to get your questions and answers at the end, or you're more than welcome to write them in the chat. Mr. Villarreal, did you have anything else to add about the LCAP?
Thank you, Ms. Gallion. Thank you for sharing, again, that explanation of why we need the feedback from you, our educational partners as parents. Again, we want to include as many parents as possible. We realize that, a challenge continues to be upon us, which is, COVID and the access that parents have or don't have, to the school. And this is why, again, we're doing this online. But again, this is important. This is an opportunity for you all to give us your feedback. There are in the survey some open-ended questions where you can respond by just sharing your own honest feedback. So there is an open-ended section again. So please, again, at the end of the session or sometime during the session, Ms. Gallion will drop on the chat the links to these surveys. These surveys have also been sent to you again through the weekly emails that go out through School Messenger. So again, if you are able to fill it out, if you have already done it, because I see some parents here that have been at other meetings that most likely have already filled out the LCAP survey, thank you very much. If you haven't filled it out, we ask that you please do so. And again, at the end of the session, if you have any questions on the LCAP itself, please let us know and we'll respond as best as we can, okay? We do have Mr. Gordillo joining us right now. And as we're going to be going into the next slide, he's going to be talking about the proposed new schedules that we're looking at for the daily instruction for the year 22-23. Mr. Gordillo, are you able to hear us and join us?
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, Mr. Gordillo, we just segued into this slide here. We just did the LCAP overview. So if you so kindly can continue and share the work that we're doing to look at this proposed schedule for the 22-23 school year.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, parents. Here on the slide, it's showing a potential school schedule. So we wanted to also get some input from all community members. We're also talking to staff and we're talking to other members of the community. This is our potential school schedule for 22-2023. Regular days for elementary school would be from 8 to 2:30. And for middle school, it would switch over to 8 to 2:45. For minimum days, elementary and both middle schools would be from 8 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. If we could hear from any parents in the chat or who'd like to share their input, any comments are appreciated as we value your feedback for any questions, any concerns that you may have.
And I appreciate some of the suggestions online. You know, actually, Ms. Gallion has been out in the mornings with the iPads also to have parents complete them. Thank you, Mrs. Lopez, for that suggestion. And we can definitely continue to have our middle schoolers support us on that. There's another suggestions, maybe host a coffee with the principal during breakfast so the parents can join before. Thank you again for that suggestion. It is something that we are definitely contemplating to allow more access to parents. So I think at this point, if there's anyone that would like to share any feedback, I see Ms. Jasmine who shares that the schedule looks better. And another question, Mr. Gordillo here, does modification of school hours have to do with modifications of the teacher hours?
Right. So thank you for your question, Ms. Lopez. This is all being taken into consideration. So this is an ongoing conversation with staff members, with community members. Again, we're looking for input and feedback as we make changes to potentially what could affect both staff and students and families.
If I can also make a clarification on this, we are still meeting all state regulations and guidelines to meet the minimum required instructional minutes for all our students. I also want to stipulate here something that we are looking at this change in this schedule because we are listening to our, again, educational partners, our teachers are classified, and we're also looking at the fact that we are reducing the time for student instructional day, but we are not essentially going to reduce it because we are still mandated with the extended learning opportunity program. We are still going to be providing after school extended learning opportunities, either tutoring and or through clubs, through potentially 3:45, 3:30 and 3:45. This is going to give us more flexibility to have teachers and other classified staff volunteer to actually teach those programs for our students. So thank you for those questions, and we appreciate the feedback. There's let's see, another question
is the modified hours input. Go ahead, Mr. Villarreal. I'm sorry about that.
Yes, so thank you. So YMCA is a 6 to 6 program. So although there may be a modification at the end of the day in our hours, the YMCA program will still go till 6 p.m. as it's currently going. Hopefully that answers that question. Another question or comment here, will minimum days stay on Thursdays? Also, will there continue to be a 15-minute grace periods morning for students? So Thursdays will continue to be minimum days. There's always a 15-minute grace period, meaning we open up the gates 15 minutes prior to the beginning of the instructional day. So yes, there will still be a 15-minute grace period. Will teachers get paid overtime for after-school programs? Teachers will get paid their hourly rate for any time that they work above and beyond their contracted time, okay? And that will be paid through by our Extended Learning Opportunities Program grant that we have for the following school year, for this next school year. Not overtime, they will be getting paid the regular hourly rate for any time that they work beyond the contract hours. Thank you for those questions. These are very important, and this gives us some feedback here. I don't see any other questions here. We appreciate the feedback today. Thank you, Mr. We will definitely catalog this feedback to help us. Thank you. If there aren't any other questions, and let me just say that again, we are still in the process of getting feedback from our staff. This is not something that has been decided on yet. We are still getting feedback from all, but we wanted to also bring this to the attention of the community so that we can support you can support us in the decision making. Mr. Gordillo, anything else to add?
No, that's about it. If you do have any other questions or any other feedback, again, like Mr. Villarreal said, you can call the front office, let them know that you would like to provide us with some feedback on the hours, or you have a question, or any of your child's teachers. You can go ahead and communicate your questions, your feedback to any of them through Dojo, Jupiter, any of the outlets that you use to communicate with any teachers. But we appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you all. Heather, we can go on to the next slide, please. All right, thank you. So typically, one of the items that we have standing on our coffee with the administration, again, is COVID updates. So we want to just continue to do that. And I know you were all aware when we returned back after spring break on April 4th, masks were no longer mandatory at school sites. They are optional. Meaning that that all students and staff have the choice to or not to wear a mask. And we do have masks available upon request for all students and all staff, and also parents or volunteers that come on site. We are cognizant that there are some social concerns potentially with individuals wearing masks or not wearing masks. Please understand that we are making sure that everybody understands that this is a choice and a right for every individual. I can report to you that to date, we have not had any issues that we are aware where any student and or adult has been, let's say, made fun of and or pressured one way or another to wear or not to wear a mask. But please, if there are any concerns that your son or daughter is bringing home, we ask that you communicate that with one of the administrators so that we can address the situation. But to date, we have not had any issues. We have, I'd say, a good percentage of students and staff who continue to wear their mask voluntarily. They have that choice. Excuse me. So that's one update. The other is that we continue to provide weekly COVID testing to our students and staff on a voluntary basis. Those of you that have already signed up with the COVID clinic, you do not need to sign up again. But if you, again, want your child to be tested through the COVID clinic, it happens every Tuesday. The link is also available here, and we will drop it also on the chat. So if you haven't already enrolled your son or daughter in this COVID testing. If your son or daughter is in one of the sports, they are required to test weekly. And this is a convenient way for them to test so that you don't have to go somewhere else or to the district to get COVID testing for them. So that's just one way that we are trying to support the community and our parents and our children as well, if they'd like to be in sports. So again, if they are in sports, they do need to be tested weekly in order to participate, okay? And then one other item, it becomes a little bit more gray, but not really. Again, if your child experiences any COVID or flu-like symptoms, we ask that you keep them home. If they have any of the following conditions: cough, shortness of breath, fever, headache, there are others, diarrhea, fatigue, anything that you could suspect that is a cold related, flu related, we ask that you keep them home, and you conduct a home COVID test if possible before returning to school. Otherwise, they need to return to school with no symptoms. But again, if there's any doubt, please know that you can contact our front office directly, and we will, one of our front office staff or the nurse will answer any questions that you have regarding the COVID protocols. But again, our aim is to have kids at school and not at home. But out of precaution, with the continued COVID situation, we want to make sure that, again, if children and or adults are experiencing any COVID-like symptoms or flu-like symptoms, that they remain home. If possible, conduct a home COVID test before returning to school. But again, if you have any doubts, please contact our nurse, either speak to Miss Melissa Gonzalez or Miss Tamomi Thomas, our nurse, who will be able to guide and assist you with any of your questions. Thank you. Any questions? Let me check the chat, see if there are any questions
We
on.
do have, we have one question in the chat. Since April 4th, has the percentage of cases gone up at Feaster with students and staff?
Anecdotally, I can share with you that we have had less cases than we had prior to spring break. I don't have the actual numbers, but it has been less. Okay, thank you for that question, but we can provide the exact numbers. Okay, thank you for that question. If we don't have any other questions on this, we can move to the next slide, Ms. Gallion. And here we have Mrs. Ramirez talk about this. Ms. Ramirez.
Great. So I am going to just share a little bit about our middle school lottery update. So as many of you know, this year we held a middle school lottery because we had over 100 interested applicants in middle school. The lottery was held on April 8th. We had many different stakeholders present at the meeting, at the lottery. It was attended by our executive director, 2 of our principals, a certificated staff, a classified staff member, a board member, a parent, and a student. So in our lottery, we drew our 100 students based off of our 3-tier priority according to our charter. And 100 students were accepted. They received their letters, and 22 students were placed on the wait list. All students and parents were notified about their placement, whether that was a letter saying that they had been accepted or whether that was a letter saying that they had been placed on the wait list. So for those that have been accepted, we will be having an orientation meeting prior to the 22-23 year beginning. We will be putting on our social media platforms as well as our website the date of that meeting as we get a little bit closer. And we are most definitely looking forward to welcoming our new 7th grade students. We are looking forward to another great year at middle school, just sort of getting back to the focus being on students and instruction and a little less on some of the COVID details that have transitioned our life over the last couple of years. So.
Thank you, Ms.
And
Ramirez. Before we go to the next slide, we have some comments. Thank you. So thank you again, a comment on great job, Feaster, for hosting a transparent process for the middle school lottery. Very well done. Kudos to Ms. Ramirez who spearheaded this. So thank you, Ms. Ramirez, for your hard work and effort. There is another question. How will parents know if they are getting pushed onto the wait list?
yeah, that's a really great question. So we actually have already freed up one spot. So as spots free up, whether that's because a student moves to another school, then we will be contacting in order in the wait list the parents so that they know that they are now included in one of the 100 accepted spots. And we also have a due date of, I believe, and I need to double check this date, but I believe it's May 25th that we're requesting that records be submitted. So at that point, if they have not been submitted, then we will begin to open up those spots. And again, you'll receive either an email or a phone call letting you know that your child has been accepted. And then at that point, you would need to go in and enroll just like you normally would. Does that answer the question?
Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. I believe you answered the question. Thank you. That is it for our presentation. There is another question that is on the chat that I will respond to. Is the new 22-23 school calendar available now? To answer that question, we did approve the new school calendar for 22-23 at the board meeting in March. So we do have that available. I'm just checking right now, and I will check on the website to make sure that's also that we have that link to the website, Mrs. Lopez, for the convenience of the families. But we have it approved, and I just need to make sure and verify on our website that we actually have it on there. I know Mrs. Marta Lara, our secretary, had asked me for it as soon as we approved it. But let me verify that it is available. We have approved it, and we will make sure that it's on the website. I'm not sure, Ms. Gallion, if it's something that you are looking for right now. Okay. I don't think we'll make sure it is available, Mrs. Lopez. We'll send it to you directly. You asked the question, but we'll make sure that it's there in a prominent place on the website. Okay. Right now, if anyone would like to ask any other question or has any clarifying questions, please let us know. You can unmute yourself at this moment. Ms. Gallion, I believe, has allowed everyone to do that. If there aren't any questions, again, please know that I myself, Mr. Villarreal, am available to meet and chat with you at a convenient time that works for both of us. Mr. Gordillo, Mrs. Ramirez, who are present with us, are also available through appointment. Although Dr. Slayman is not here with us at the meeting today, she is also available through appointment. So just know that we are here to support you all, answer questions for you, and again, continue to be as transparent as possible with all the processes that we are conducting here at Feaster, because ultimately we want our families to be informed, because we want a partnership that is going to be conducive to the benefit and the success of our students. So thank you, Ms. Gallion. She did locate the calendar on our website, I believe, correct, Ms. Gallion? Maybe you want to drop the link into the chat also, Ms. Gallion?
Yes, the link is in the chat right now. I will also work on getting it in our calendars tab. Right now, it's just under our board minutes. So we will get that
Okay.
added under our calendars tab as well.
And another question about enrollment for the 22-23 school year. Enrollment is open. Enrollment will continue up until the day before school starts in July. But obviously, the sooner you enroll your child, the better, so that we can ensure that there is a space for them. Hopefully, we are doing a better job of communicating and a better job of providing the educational services that we promise to the community. And in saying that, I do certainly hope that our classes are going to be full the beginning of the school year. We have our middle school already full, and we're looking now to, gain more students in our elementary to get our daily attendance up, because that provides more money for our charter schools. So the answer to the question is enrollment is still open, but we ask that you hopefully submit your application sooner than later. Okay, thank you for that question. And if you have any questions about enrollment in the DI program or VAPA program, those are going to be questions for Mr. Gordillo. If you have any questions regarding enrollment in the STEM program, those will be questions for Dr. Slayman. And I see another comment here. Yes, thank you. Let me just share with you all. We do have a parent engagement session tomorrow with a partner and psychologist, Mr. Hector Mesa. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. It will be the second series in the workshop of parent engagement. We had a good turnout of parents last Thursday afternoon. These sessions are live after school at 4 p.m. We apologize for the inconvenience of parents that are working and may not make it at 4 p.m. Thank you again, Ms. Lopez, for suggesting that we do a coffee with the principal in the morning to engage families that are working or have more availability in the morning. We will also take into consideration future workshops on times that are going to best accommodate the families that we serve. We appreciate all these suggestions. This reminder for the session tomorrow was through Ms. Irasu Nogues. Thank you, Ms. Nogues, for reminding me of that. Team, any other last comments from anyone in the team?
We do have an additional question. How about enrollment for existing students? I only see enrollment for new students.
And existing students automatically roll over to the next school year. You do not have to re-enroll your student if they are already an existing student. I thank you for that clarification. Yes, existing students do not have to re-enroll. They would just have to do the proof of residency that is required every year. And that information will come to you before the end of the school year through your teachers, through flyers, and through emails that we'll be sending, also correspondence that we'll be sending. Thank you for that question. Okay. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon for a coffee with the administration. We appreciate your time. We value your time. We value your input. As we build and we continue to build trust, we will become stronger as partners. And our goal is to ensure that our students are getting the very best possible educational experience here at Feaster Charter School, both academically and socially. We appreciate your support. We thank you for your time. And again, we are available to support you, answer questions. And again, we will do that humbly. If you are upset about something, please know that we are here to resolve your concerns as best as we can. But we would also like, positive reaffirmation or affirmation to the work that we are doing, so that we know that we are doing a good job here at Feaster Charter. Thank you for those of you that did affirm us today. And I want to especially thank Mrs. Ramirez for her work with the middle school lottery process, because again, we were just affirmed for that. And we want to continue to show our community that we are doing our due diligence to the job that we have been assigned to. Thank you everyone for your time this afternoon. We wish you a great evening. Thank you.